Once a vibrant playground of laughter and excitement, Joyland Theme Park now lay in ruins, a testament to faded memories and forgotten dreams. Nestled on the outskirts of town, its towering roller coasters and whimsical attractions stood frozen in time, their paint chipped and rides rusted from years of neglect. For decades, children had flocked to Joyland with wide-eyed wonder and gleeful anticipation. But one fateful summer, tragedy struck. An accident on the park's most thrilling roller coaster claimed the lives of several visitors, plunging Joyland into darkness and despair. Since then, it has stood abandoned, its gates chained shut, and its once bustling streets hauntingly silent. Curiosity beckoned a group of friends, Adia, Jamal, and Nellie, to explore the decaying remains of Joyland one moonlit night. Armed with flashlights and a mix of trepidation and excitement, they slipped through a gap in the fence that surrounded the park, their footsteps echoing on the cracked pavement. The air was heavy with the scent of rust and damp earth as they ventured deeper into the heart of Joyland, the dilapidated carousel, with its faded horses frozen mid-gallop, shadows that danced along the abandoned game booths. As they approached the towering Ferris wheel, a skeletal frame silhouetted against the starry sky, Nellie gasped, her breath catching in her throat. At the apex of the wheel, a figure stood motionless, a clown, its painted face cracked and weathered, its eyes staring out into the night with a chilling emptiness. Jamal scoffed, dismissing the sight as a prank or a trick of the light. But Adia's unease grew, a knot tightening in her stomach as they continued their exploration. They wandered through the ghostly remains of themed areas, pirate ships stranded on dry docks, a haunted mansion with broken windows that seemed to leer at them with jagged edges. Their footsteps led them to the heart of Joyland, the abandoned roller coaster, its twisted tracks looming like skeletal fingers against the sky. Adia hesitated, her heart racing with a mix of fear and fascination. They climbed the rusted stairs to the coaster's loading platform, their flashlights casting long shadows that danced along the weathered wood. The air grew colder as they reached the summit, the wind whispering through the gaps in the structure with an eerie sigh. At the crest of the coaster, they found an old control booth, its windows shattered and control panels covered in dust. Nellie approached cautiously, her flashlight beam revealing a tattered logbook lying open on the operator's desk. With trembling hands, she flipped through the pages, her eyes widening at the entries dated decades ago. "This is it," Nellie murmured, her voice barely audible over the rustling of leaves outside. "The accident happened here." Adia and Jamal leaned in, their breath catching as they read the chilling accounts of the tragedy that had befallen Joyland. Witnesses had described screams piercing the night, the coaster derailing in a catastrophic failure that claimed lives and left others scarred for life. The logbook chronicled the aftermath, a swift closure, investigations, and eventually, the abandonment of the park. As they pored over the pages, a faint sound echoed through the coaster, a child's laughter, pure and innocent, yet tinged with a haunting echo. Startled, they exchanged bewildered glances, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and disbelief. "It's just the wind," Jamal muttered, though his voice lacked conviction. But Adia's gaze was fixed on the darkness beyond the shattered windows, where shadows seemed to stir with unseen movement. The laughter grew louder, intertwining with whispers that seemed to echo through the abandoned coaster, a chorus of voices trapped between realms. A cold draft swept through the control booth, extinguishing their flashlights in a sudden gust. Darkness enveloped them, broken only by the dim glow of moonlight filtering through the shattered windows. Panic clawed at their hearts as they fumbled for their flashlights, their minds racing with the impossibility of what they were experiencing. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the laughter faded into silence. The wind stilled, leaving only the rustling of leaves and the distant hum of nocturnal creatures in its wake. Adia, Jamal, and Nellie stood frozen in the darkness, their breaths shallow and hearts pounding in their ears. With trembling hands, they managed to reignite their flashlights, casting wary beams around the control booth. The logbook lay open before them, its pages fluttering in the faint breeze that seeped through the broken windows. "We should go," Nellie whispered, her voice tinged with urgency. Without another word, they hurried from the coaster, their footsteps echoing on the metal stairs as they descended to solid ground. The air outside was cool and crisp, a stark contrast to the suffocating atmosphere within the abandoned park. As they reached the perimeter fence, Adia glanced back at Joyland, a once magical place, now shrouded in darkness and sorrow. The Ferris wheel stood sentinel in the moonlight, its motionless silhouette casting long shadows across the deserted midway. They slipped through the gap in the fence and emerged onto the quiet street, their hearts heavy with the weight of what they had witnessed. Joyland remained behind them, its secrets buried within the decaying remnants of rides and attractions that had once brought joy to countless visitors. As they walked away, the distant echo of laughter lingered in their ears, a haunting reminder of the children who had come seeking thrills and left with the darkness they could never escape.